Pastor Chris, this is the big question we've been alluding to. So can pain and suffering actually be a part of God's plan?
So, you know what that statement reminds me of? Your will be done. It reminds me of the other bit of scripture that Luke wrote. In Luke chapter, hang on, I think it's 22.
22. Yeah, I know what you're...
It is 22.
Yep.
In Luke chapter 22, Jesus is in the garden, and he's praying. And he says to his Father, if there's any other way, take this cup from me. But not my will, but your will be done. And he became obedient, even obedient to death on the cross. So when I put those two stories together and look and just think, so that question I asked in the beginning, is suffering a part of God's plan? Are trials a part of God's plan? Not all the time, but sometimes. It is a distinct possibility that the suffering or the trial that God has called me to walk through is all a part of his shaping and his plan, and means and requires that I have to have his perspective for what he's about to do next. So when I see that passage in Acts, it reminds me of that passage in Luke where Jesus says the same thing. And so I think that Paul is becoming obedient, and he's humbling himself, and he's taking this next step. Because let's just use our imagination here. Yeah. What's happening? The church is growing. The church is expanding. So where should our best theologian, where should our best leader, where should our best church planter, where should that person be? They should be out doing their thing, right? And yet, God's going to take really what most humans would say, God, why would you take your best possible servant and put him in jail? He's going to take his best of all those things I just listed, and he's going to take him to the heart of the demonic stronghold that holds the world captive, Rome. Yep. And he's going to put him in house arrest, being guarded by Caesar's personal bodyguard.
Most influential place in the world.
The most influential place in the world. And within 250, 270 years, the Roman Empire will be at its knees before the gospel.
That's wild.
It's wild because, look, in 250 years of America's history, next year, we ain't taking democracy across the planet. And yet the gospel is going to take the entire world and shape the future of Western civilization. I won't go into all the whereases and wherefores, but we have the rights, and even thinking about rights like we do now because of the gospel, period. So, and that's what God's doing in this moment. Paul,
he's accomplishing his will.
Come here to Jerusalem. Why? Because this is my will, son. You got to go to Rome, but you got to be with Caesar. The only way you're going to get to Caesar is if you get arrested. You're not just going to walk up to Rome and be like, "Hey, Caesar, I want to have a chit chat." Not going to happen that way.